Have you ever felt that something didn't quite add up in a conversation? Maybe their words seemed polished, but their actions or emotions told a different story. Lying is an unfortunate part of human interaction, and spotting deception isn't just about catching someone in the act. It's about protecting your peace, your trust, and your relationships. The Stoics believed in living with integrity and discerning truth from falsehood. They taught us to remain calm, observant, and rational, even in situations where deception lurks. In this video, we'll uncover 8 Stoic strategies to help you spot a liar in any situation. These lessons are rooted in ancient wisdom and designed to sharpen your perception and empower your decisions. But before we dive in, let me ask you this. How many times have you ignored your instincts only to realize later that you were right? By the end of this video, you'll not only trust your intuition, but also learn how to rely on logic, observation, and self-control to uncover the truth. Stick around, because the last lesson we'll share is the ultimate Stoic strategy for safeguarding your peace of mind. Let's get started. 1. Observe inconsistent behavior. Liars often fail to keep their stories straight, and their behavior betrays them. The Stoics remind us to rely on reason and observation rather than being swayed by words alone. Pay close attention to inconsistencies between what someone says and how they act. A liar might confidently tell you one thing, but exhibit nervous gestures, avoid answering directly, or change their story later. Marcus Aurelius taught that clarity arises from calm observation. When someone's tone of voice shifts, their posture stiffens, or their facial expressions don't align with their words, it's a clue worth noting. For example, they may tell you they're fine, yet their body language, crossed arms, fidgeting, or avoiding your gaze might suggest otherwise. These subtle contradictions can reveal their discomfort with lying. Don't confront inconsistencies immediately. Instead, let them unfold naturally. The more a liar speaks, the harder it becomes for them to maintain their facade. Ask neutral, open-ended questions to clarify details, and observe whether their answers align or conflict with earlier statements. Stoicism teaches us to detach from emotional reactions in these moments. Instead of jumping to conclusions or getting upset, treat it as a puzzle to solve. By keeping your emotions in check and your focus sharp, you'll be better equipped to spot the truth. Remember, liars thrive on your distraction and impulsiveness. Stay calm, observant, and rational, and their inconsistencies will do the talking for them. 2. Notice avoidance of eye contact. Liars often struggle with eye contact. While it's not always a definitive sign, the way someone uses or avoids eye contact can reveal discomfort. The Stoics emphasized studying human behavior objectively, reminding us to look beyond what is said to understand the whole picture. Avoiding eye contact is a classic indicator of dishonesty. But be mindful. Some people overcompensate by making exaggerated efforts to maintain it. They might hold your gaze too intensely, trying to appear confident while overcorrecting their unease. Both extremes can signal an inner struggle to keep their story straight. Epictetus taught that we control how we interpret external impressions. Don't assume guilt based on one behavior alone. Instead, combine this observation with other cues. For instance, is their tone unnatural, their gestures rigid, or their explanation overly complicated? These accompanying behaviors strengthen the case for deception. When engaging with someone you suspect of lying, avoid pressuring them for eye contact. Instead, observe naturally and subtly. Create a conversational environment where they feel comfortable revealing their intentions. A liar's unease often grows when they sense you're not buying their story, leading to more revealing behaviors. The goal is not to shame or embarrass, but to seek clarity. Eye contact is just one piece of the puzzle. Combined with other Stoic techniques, it becomes a valuable tool for uncovering the truth without unnecessary conflict or drama. As the Stoics would advise, let your wisdom guide you and never rush to judgment. 3. Listen for overly complex explanations. Liars frequently fall into the trap of providing overly detailed or convoluted stories to make their falsehoods seem believable. The Stoics remind us that truth is often simple and direct, while lies tend to grow unnecessarily complicated. Pay close attention to explanations that feel too rehearsed or include excessive, unnecessary details. For example, if you ask someone why they were late and they launch into a long, winding story about traffic, a forgotten coffee order, and 3 phone calls, it could indicate an effort to cover up the truth. Genuine explanations are usually straightforward. When someone overcompensates, they are often trying to preempt questions by filling the gaps before you ask. Seneca advised us to rely on discernment and rationality when evaluating others' words. Listen carefully to the tone and structure of their explanation. Is it consistent with their usual way of speaking? Are there parts that don't quite add up? If the story feels like it's trying too hard to convince, it's worth probing further. Rather than interrupting or challenging them outright, ask clarifying questions to test the consistency of their narrative. Liars often trip themselves up when pressed for details they hadn't prepared for. This approach not only reveals the truth, but also keeps you calm and composed, a key Stoic principle. Remember, truth is resilient, but lies often crumble under scrutiny. By staying observant and logical, you can separate fact from fiction without unnecessary conflict. 4. Watch for unnatural body language. Body language is a powerful indicator of truthfulness. When someone lies, their physical movements often betray their discomfort. The Stoics believed in studying human nature closely, as actions often reveal more than words. Fidgeting, touching the face, or displaying stiff, unnatural gestures are all signs that someone may be concealing the truth. A person telling the truth typically appears relaxed and open. In contrast, a liar might cross their arms, avoid hand gestures, or display repetitive behaviors like rubbing their neck or tapping their fingers. These small, unconscious movements stem from the tension of keeping a story straight. However, Stoic wisdom warns against relying solely on body language. Marcus Aurelius reminded us to view situations holistically. Combine what you observe physically with verbal cues and contextual inconsistencies. For instance, if someone fidgets nervously while giving an overly detailed explanation, the two signals together suggest deception. To interpret body language effectively, remain calm and observant. A liar often monitors your reactions closely, so showing skepticism too soon can prompt them to refine their act. Instead, maintain a neutral demeanor while paying close attention to their movements and how they align with their words. The key is balance. Don't overanalyze one gesture, but don't ignore persistent signs of discomfort either. When used alongside other Stoic strategies, observing unnatural body language becomes a vital tool for uncovering the truth while keeping your composure. 5. Detect changes in speech patterns. Liars often reveal themselves through subtle changes in their speech. They may speak faster or slower than usual, hesitate as they try to fabricate details, or stumble over their words. Stoicism encourages us to remain attentive and rational in these moments, observing without jumping to conclusions. When someone is lying, their brain is working overtime to construct a believable narrative while monitoring your reactions. This extra mental effort can manifest as pauses, filler words like or or sudden shifts in tone. For example, a typically confident speaker might become hesitant, while someone who usually speaks calmly might rush their words to avoid further questioning. Seneca once said, "Speech reveals the state of the soul." Pay attention to whether the speaker's tone matches the content of their words. Does their voice carry a nervous edge, or are they unusually monotone? These discrepancies may signal dishonesty. However, keep in mind that nervousness doesn't always indicate lying. Some people naturally feel anxious under scrutiny. The key is to compare their current speech patterns with their usual behavior. Stoicism reminds us to assess situations holistically, avoiding rash judgments based on a single clue. When combined with other indicators such as inconsistent stories or unnatural body language, changes in speech patterns can help confirm suspicions. By staying composed and attentive, you can detect subtle signs of deceit without allowing your emotions to cloud your judgment. This balanced approach ensures you approach the truth with clarity and wisdom. 6. Pay attention to defensiveness. When confronted, liars often resort to defensiveness as a way to deflect attention or avoid further questioning. Instead of calmly addressing the issue, they might overreact, attack your credibility, or change the subject entirely. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm and detached in these moments, observing their behavior without being drawn into emotional conflict. Defensiveness often signals discomfort. A liar might say things like, "Why are you questioning me?" or "You always think I'm lying." These exaggerated responses are attempts to shift focus away from their dishonesty and onto your intentions. In some cases, they might even accuse you of being overly critical or paranoid to dissuade you from probing further. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of observing human nature with patience and clarity. When someone becomes defensive, ask yourself whether their reaction is proportional to the situation. A truthful person may express mild frustration, but will usually provide straightforward answers. In contrast, a liar's defensiveness often feels exaggerated and evasive. Another common tactic is deflection, steering the conversation toward unrelated topics or blaming external factors to avoid accountability. For example, instead of addressing your question, they might complain about being busy or accuse someone else of wrongdoing. Stay composed and focused on the issue at hand. By not reacting emotionally, you maintain control of the situation and allow the truth to reveal itself. Remember, the Stoic approach is to observe, question, and remain grounded, even when faced with evasive or defensive behavior. 7. Trust your instincts. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate self-awareness and trust our inner sense of judgment. When dealing with dishonesty, your instincts can often provide vital insight. If something feels off during a conversation, perhaps the person's words don't quite add up, or their demeanor feels strained, it's worth paying attention. Your intuition works as a subconscious filter, processing subtle cues like micro-expressions, body language, and tone of voice. These are often things your conscious mind may not immediately register, but your gut instinct flags as unusual. For example, A confident handshake might feel oddly weak, or someone's laughter might seem forced. These moments of discomfort are signals that something isn't right. Seneca advised, "A good character shines brighter than its outward appearance." This principle applies when assessing whether someone's behavior matches their words. If their character or sincerity seems inconsistent, don't ignore that feeling. However, Stoicism also teaches us to approach situations with reason. Intuition is a guide, not absolute proof. Use it as the first step in assessing the situation and combine it with other Stoic techniques, like observing behavior and asking clear, direct questions. Trusting your instincts is not about being suspicious of everyone. It's about staying grounded in your own judgment. When balanced with observation and reason, intuition can become a powerful tool for spotting dishonesty without falling prey to paranoia or hasty assumptions. 8. Look for a lack of emotional alignment. Emotions and words naturally align when someone is telling the truth. When they don't, it can indicate dishonesty. The Stoics believed in observing life as it is, not as it appears, making emotional alignment a key factor in discerning the truth. For instance, if someone expresses sadness but has a smirk on their face, or they tell a heartfelt story with a detached tone, these discrepancies can signal that their emotions don't match their narrative. Real emotions are spontaneous and difficult to fake. Dishonesty, on the other hand, often creates mismatched expressions because liars are focused on fabricating a story rather than authentically expressing themselves. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of understanding human behavior, stating, "Look beneath the surface. Let not the several qualities of a thing nor its worth escape you. Observe how someone's words align or fail to align with their facial expressions, body language, and tone." For example, a person claiming to be thrilled about a promotion should naturally exude excitement. If they appear indifferent or uneasy, there might be more to the story. Keep in mind that some people mask their emotions for personal reasons unrelated to deceit. Stoicism teaches us to interpret these cues with a calm and unbiased perspective. Look for patterns rather than relying on isolated incidents. By honing your ability to detect emotional misalignment, you can navigate interactions with clarity, maintaining your integrity while discerning truth from falsehood. If you've made it this far into the video, comment, "I choose truth and clarity." This shows me you're someone who values honesty and seeks to build genuine connections. Remember, spotting dishonesty isn't about mistrusting everyone. It's about protecting your peace and staying aligned with reality. Stay grounded, observe wisely, and always let truth guide your actions. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.